I have done a few videos on the cognitive biases and behavioral finance largely, and one important term which you will hear is anchoring. Anchoring is when you anchor on a price or an event or things like that. So let me read out from Investopedia. Anchoring or focalism is a cognitive bias that describes a common human tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information offered, which is the anchor, while making decisions. During decision making, anchoring occurs when individuals use an initial piece of information to make subsequent judgments. Once an anchor is set, other judgments are made by adjusting away from that anchor, and there is a bias towards interpreting other information around the anchor. For example, when you are offered a price for a car that you want to buy, or car that you want to sell, or a house that you want to sell, or you've heard that price. So, in this society the flat prices are around 3 crores. Then 3 crore 67 lakhs looks very expensive because they are anchored around 3 crores. Maybe you heard this 1 year back, maybe you heard this 6 months back, maybe you heard this 5 years back. Today prices may have changed, but your anchoring is around 3 crores. So if you go and see a house which is bigger, maybe it's 4 BHK, you are looking at 2 BHK or 3 BHK, and the price is 4 crores, you say, oh my god, this is so expensive, because that number 3 has got stuck in your head, and therefore you are saying, no, this is not the right price, I am being overcharged, because you don't know how to judge. Right, the anchor price is largely the first price that you see in relation to the specific item, which also happens that if you have gone into a discussion where people are talking of 500 crores and 4,000 crores and 3,000 crores, you come out, go to a shirt shop, and 4,000 rupee shirt doesn't look very expensive because anchored around those numbers. There is absolutely no logic, but that happens, right? So suppose you go into a car workshop, or a car dealer, where the prices are stuck on the cars. That becomes a starting point for you. So if you go and find a second-hand car, new car prices you can always check across showrooms, but a second-hand car, and the second-hand car price says 4 lakhs. In your mind, you are happy to buy it at 4 lakhs, but now suddenly you have to do something because of which you have to reduce it from 4 lakhs. Salesman also knows that, so he is happy to give it to you at say 3 lakh 80. Maybe the starting point of 4 lakhs was a smart move by the salesman to put it there, so that he knew that you would anchor around that price, which happens in case of even shops like Bata. I remember Bata would put hush puppies at the front, and hush puppies, I mean, I'm talking of 30 years back, would be 750 or 800 rupees. And that would be like, oh my god. Then when you went in and saw other shoes, you wouldn't like anything, and the 300 rupee shoe would look very cheap, saying, oh god, look at that price, that was 800, this is only 300, it is cheap. Though actually it is not cheap, but they shifted the anchor to 800 or 900, whatever was the price. Today I think it would be more like 12,000 rupees. But they anchored you around a number, and negotiating around that number became very easy. So this can happen in case of salaries, in case of you buying a house, you selling a car, any of these places it can happen. In a grocery store, they can put prices and sell it at because you don't have any fixed price in your head. Or could be any of those things. They shift you to a number which you are happy with, and that could come just from the pin code of your house. It doesn't matter from where it has come. You look at a number and you are stuck and say, oh god, this is the price. So when a new product is launched in the market, when a film has to be priced by the theater, any of these things, they anchor around a number and they put it. And how can you really avoid it? The most effective way is to do some research about what you are buying, whatever it is, whether it is life insurance, whether it is a car, whether it is a house. Do some research, find out what has happened, talk to others who are living there. Maybe it's not such a great deal after all, even if the price is good. Maybe there is a water problem, any of those things. So research around, find out, ask others, ask somebody who is selling, or send somebody and pretend to be a seller, pretend to be a buyer. Do all those things. That will improve your that will remove your anchors in your mind. So when you are buying, so examine the prices better, examine what was the price some time back. If it's a product which is price is captured daily, you can find a chart See why you're anchoring around a price and saying, oh God, at this price it's a good thing. Like for example, if you bought a share at 10 rupees, you have sold it at 135. It's a fantastic 13 and a half bagger. After that it falls to 120. You think, now I got space to buy because I've sold at 135. That may be wrong. 135 may have been an aberration. Maybe the share price, fair price is only 85. You've got away with selling it at 135 does not mean you buy it at 120 just thinking, oh, I made 15 rupees. That is wrong. You have to do a complete control alt deal in your head and then arrive at and say, is this share worth buying at 125? Is it worth, or will it go down to 85? I have no clue, right? I'm not even naming the share. So something like that. So then you see how whether the bias is in your head or whether genuinely it's a good buy at 125. Thank you.